What they did to those girls or boys and what happened in the shadows can no longer remain in the dark. The final revelations in the Maxwell DOJ interview are the missing piece that ties it all together. Who lied, who covered it up, and who still remains silent? And with that being said, all I will comment and welcome back to DeepTalk Society. My name is Daniel, and today we're diving straight right into part 6, the final part of this very long ass interview. Yeah guys, and like I told you before, I'm trying to trick the algorithm. That's why I talk for the first and last 2 or 3 minutes, and that's why you see gameplay in the background. If you want me to change something for future interviews or future videos like these, please let me know. I'm trying my best to get the information out to you, because the problem with YouTube is the algorithm. If you have certain words in the first or last 3 minutes, it's gonna be most likely blacklisted when you're not a very big creator. And even if you're a very big creator, that happens too. So that's why you see these footages. If you have any timestamps of these videos, please put them into the comments. Please make some notes or join the Discord. Discord link is always in the description in the link tree, so please check it out. And yeah, we can investigate together. We can build a, well, we're self-proclaimed journalists and FBI agents. But the good ones that don't use B male, the color, not the color white, but the other color that starts with B, and male. That's also a word I can't use for the first 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, I'm not a faceless AI channel, so don't worry. I'm gonna show my face for the deep dives or for the live streams. I'm not hiding my identity. I have other channels where you can see my face, where I post content on a daily basis. And this is just my project I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to spread awareness and give this world, well, give those souls a purpose in this world. I'm not saying that I know what your purpose is, that's not what I'm saying here, but I say that I'm trying to get the most potential out of everyone, but not like I get it out of them, but I encourage them to get it out themselves. You know what I mean? Because we are so effing strong. We are so powerful. Never let any government or any organization, well, they're just trying to put you down. Don't let them do it. We are the universe, and we are here to spread awareness, to help others. And guys, please like the video. I hate asking for likes, but it's so important that you gotta like, share, and comment on those videos. And of course, if you're new here, subscribe for more stuff and activate the bell icon so you can get every notification when I go live, because yes, we can do deep dives or investigations together, and of course when a new video drops. But now let's go into the video.
Of what she did look like with a photograph that was produced as evidence, yes. I never recall at any time seeing what I would characterize as a child coming to give him a massage and going upstairs. Did I see people come? I absolutely did. I just didn't see children. I didn't see anybody I would think of as a child. And if I had seen a child, I wouldn't, I'm not sure what I would have done.
But I mean, did you, just talking, like coming out a little bit of just bigger picture, do you, at the time that you were in his life, was he, did he seem to you to be a sexual deviant or I don't know what the right way to describe it, but when you say to me, he was getting massages every single day, right? So young women were everywhere, multiple massages on some days, flew with the women to the island, to New York, Paris. There's always women. They're always rubbing him, giving him massages. I think it would be an understatement to say that that's not normal.
I agree.
We've all kind of been part of the Epstein story over the past several years, but you were there at the time. Okay. What was it like at the time? I mean, was he a creepy guy when it came to that sort of thing? Was he protective of how he looked publicly, image-wise? Like, at the time, what was it like?
I think if he had been creepy, like as you would define and you would expect someone who was living that lifestyle to be creepy, I don't think the women would have been there. I don't think that they thought of him as creepy. And if they did, I never saw them behave like he was being Was it a lot? Yes, it was, for sure. I found it overwhelming, and I couldn't understand why it was interesting, because to me, it's not interesting. But he, as he defined it, he found it invigorating. He liked being with younger people. And now, not just younger people, I'm just saying because they gave him ideas and they were up to date on music and
Yeah, but that's sort of like
I'm
a
just
Sue's
saying,
coming every day.
I'm just telling you what he was saying
Yeah.
to me. I mean, to me, I just found it a drag and difficult and annoying.
Did you,
But understand, I wasn't the only person present. So this time in the 2000s, you're talking about other people, like Sarah Cullen, who was around, who interfaced with him. I didn't have to. She was really interfacing with Epstein at this point in time in his life. She was running his. She was his assistant, and so I didn't have to.
that's a fair point, but move beyond his assistants or the folks that work with him. What about his friends and the people that were associated with him? It couldn't be. It doesn't. I don't understand how this is an after fact of Mr. Epstein. So once he's arrested in Florida, it becomes part of his story, and then later on, he's charged in the Southern District, and then here we are now in 2025. But he was a very successful, hardworking guy, and he had a lot of clients, and he flew with them on vacations and went to the island. It doesn't. I don't understand how he was able to hide this, what seems to me to be some sort of sexual fixation or issue from others.
I don't think he did hide it. I think that's the answer, and I think that the people around him, myself included, obviously, normalized his behavior on a number of fronts. One, I think because it was a because so many people saw it, of such a high caliber down, that never seemed to think it would, well, if they thought it was strange, probably they never said it at the time, so it became sort of like it was his thing, right? He was always around with women. Now I understand that it's very unattractive, especially in light of everything that we know today, but at the time, the only way I can sort of try and describe it is through Sex and the City, the movie, the show on telly, where that lifestyle is described on the TV show constantly. There are always these women around and men who like it, and a lot of the men that I know like women, and so maybe not as overtly as Epstein, but he was overt, not covert, except obviously in the context of the criminal behavior. So what we're discussing now, there's a difference between the criminal behavior and the non-criminal behavior. You don't like the lifestyle. I concur. I agree, especially now, and I own my side of that fence, that I was there and that I saw his behavior with women and didn't challenge him or do something. But I don't think back in the 90s or the 2000s we've had a cultural shift, and the cultural shift, I think, is a very important part of the analysis here. Not because I'm trying to justify this, because I'm not, and I'm not trying to, and I absolutely am not here to do the Poor Me program, so please don't misunderstand this. However, in the 2000s, when this behavior was going down, in the initial blush of the Palm Beach investigation, the women who brought the women who were underage, 17, 16, I believe, if my memory serves, were actually targets of the investigation and could have been charged with prostitution and trafficking, if trafficking was even a law. So you're taking behavior And I did introduce him to women. I did, but not underage women. I understand that there are allegations. I have read them about myself going to schools. I can categorically tell you that I have never in my life gone to a school to pick up a child. Well, not for this purpose. I mean, like, my stepchild girl, but okay, sorry. Just...
No, I understand.
Okay, thank you. I just want to be clear that I'm not trying to be cute or anything. But I did look for masseuses. I did. I went to spas, and if I met somebody who said she was a masseuse, I did not check their credentials. And of course, if she was attractive, I did introduce her. Yes. If I met friends who were interested, he was constantly asking me to meet new and interesting people. I did do that. At the time, I viewed it as, well, first of all, part of my job, I think, or part of my responsibility, if you were, to introduce, because it wasn't just women. If I met somebody who was interesting, like Mary Gelman, or who I thought he would like, I did that. So it's not exclusively, but he did. And I did do that.
So, but then, so I want to layer on top of what you just said, what we talked about yesterday more, but a little bit today already, which is everybody that was around him besides you, like his friends. So
Right.
I accept the lifestyle. I've seen the photos, the fact that we're all going to go to the island for a couple days, or fly on a private plane, and there's beautiful women everywhere. Is there any, I mean, do you, as you sit here today, think that the people around him weren't also of the same place where they were also getting massages, where there was sex going on during them, or things like that? And I'm obviously asking this because that's what what everybody has said. And when you just described what it was like, the very next step from that is everybody's going to Vegas for the weekend, and so it seems kind of far-fetched to say that yes, that was his lifestyle, but then when he's taking groups of folks to the island, or groups of folks to New Mexico or whatever, that they're all going to church in the morning while he's getting a massage.
I hear you. I was there though, and
Yeah.
and you're talking about very substantial people, and you are extrapolating because the narrative that started in, by the way, not until 2009 is when it really started. So that narrative that was created and then built upon, and it just mushroomed into what, basically this is like a Salem witch trial. People have lost their minds for this thing. I understand that. But the issue is, how do you satisfy a mob who can't understand the lifestyle because it's like P. Diddy in Redux on TV with Clintons and Trump? I mean, it's bananas. And while some of it is real, he did do those things. I'm definitely not disputing that.
Yeah.
But this was a man, they didn't even believe he had a real business. I happen to believe he did.
Yeah.
Did he break? I don't know, because I wasn't really in his business. But this is a one man. He's not some. They've made him into this. He's not that interesting. He's a disgusting guy who did terrible things to young kids. You're not going to hear me say what he did to people who are over the age of 18. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go there. That's just not what I'm here to. I mean, okay. But
sure.
to suggest that Larry Summers or Clinton would say, oh my gosh, this is like a guy, I'm going to get my body rubbed and have some... The men that went and had a massage and maybe did something sexual? The men. I wasn't in the room. I cannot tell you if that happened. And if it did, I never paid for that. Just so that we're clear. Nobody ever said to me, we had sexual intercourse and it was a 3. I would be like, okay, TMI, no, not my business. You want to, it's just not. And I didn't want to know. Maybe there's that. But did I, think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there is no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary, some of you in your cabinet, who you value as your co-workers and you know, would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors. A man wants sexual favors, he will find that. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that. Okay, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it.
So,
But I do what exactly.
when's the last time you think you were with Mr. Epstein when he got a massage?
I want to say 2007.
2007?
Yes.
And the frequency at that point, so 2007, is that when it was at its peak, would you say? Meaning the number of interactions he was having daily with women and masseuses?
So I wasn't really in his life. I happened to be in the Caribbean in 2000. I was with Ted.
Okay.
And I was still speaking with Epstein because I was still involved in his, loosely with his, the houses and the staff and some of the bidding. And I was going back from being with Ted in the Caribbean to New York, and Epstein offered me a ride, and so Ted dropped me off in St. Thomas, and I was on the island, I believe, for one day and one night only.
Right.
On that visit, I believe, well, I know it's not really good for the massage, but I have, there were people there, but I did not, there were women, and I was just relieved not to be leaving the next day.
Let's take a break.
All right, we're going to take a break. The time is 11:31. We are resuming the audio recorded proffer agreement with Ms. Maxwell, and the time is 11:49 a.m.
All right. I wanted to follow up about former President Clinton's relationship with Mr. Epstein, not you. Can you, we touched on it, but can you just to set I have a couple questions about it, but what's your understanding of their relationship from what you observed? Meaning former President Clinton and Mr. Epstein.
I saw them talk. I saw them sit down and have chats about, I don't know, because I wasn't either party or didn't listen. And I know I would characterize originally anyway Mr. Epstein's interested in him because obviously he's the former president. But I never saw him, other than that, I sort of be friendly on the plane, but I don't believe, I don't recollect anyway, ever seeing them in any other context. I don't remember him at his house in New York. Like I said, I don't believe he ever went to the island. I think that was just that was a story that dead.
Do you know one way or the other whether their relationship continued without you, like when you kind of moved on past Mr. Epstein?
I don't believe so.
Why do you say that? You don't believe so?
Because I don't think they had a relationship even when I was there. President Clinton liked me, and we got along terribly well. But I never saw that warmth or that warmth, like however you want to characterize it, with Mr. Epstein and so I didn't see that. I didn't see any interest in. I didn't see President Clinton being interested in Epstein. He was just a rich guy with a plane.
When the Southern District of New York case kind of became public and there was a search warrant of Mr. Epstein's house, there was some sort of painting or picture with Mr. Clinton in like a blue dress that had been signed. Do you know where he got that picture?
First I saw it was in the press.
So you never observed that in his
No,
brownstone.
no. I thought it was hideous.
What's that again?
I thought it was hideous.
But you had never, so you don't know, sitting here today, where Mr. Epstein got it,
No.
the circumstance under which you got it.
No.
Do you know of any other gifts, or paraphernalia, or art, or pictures that former President Clinton gave to Mr. Epstein?
No. I mean, did he maybe get him a gift? I don't know. I have no knowledge of that.
And then, going back to the topic we were talking about before our last break, what, when you said something yesterday at the very beginning of our conversation, that when you first met Mr. Epstein, and you ultimately have sex with him, that he had, I'll use the word erectile dysfunction, but he had issues having sex.
That's what he told me.
That's what he told you.
Yes.
Okay. And then over the years, you said sometime in the 90s you started taking testosterone.
Yes. But I don't know if it was in the 90s. I don't remember when he started, but it wasn't. He had patches, testosterone patches.
Okay.
Dermal.
Like on his arm.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he was ridiculous because you shouldn't take more than one, but sometimes he had, like, well, I'm like, what are you doing? It's, like, unhealthy.
Okay. From what you observed or saw or heard, did he continue to have challenges sexually over the years, or do you think that whatever issue he told you he had was fixed?
I think it was a lie
You think he was lying about what?
about his erectile dysfunction.
Oh, you mean you don't think he ever had any issues? You think he just told you that?
That is what I believe today, yeah. But given, if any of the stories are true, he couldn't have had erectile dysfunction. The thing he had a priapism, for Christ's sake.
Well, that's one of the reasons for my questions. I mean, you're right. I mean, and again, we've talked about this a fair amount, but what did, like, the stories of what masseuses underage and overage have said about him and what he liked, or what he demanded that they do, whether it's watching him masturbate or pinching his nipples, kind of things that are unusual. Do you believe that? Like, from what you saw, from what you observed, from what you did when your relationship with him, is that true?
Well, the bulk of what I read, he did not have sex. So that is consistent with what he told me, actually. And his masturbating, that is also consistent with what I knew myself. And I'm going to use a bad word.
Please, you can use whatever word you need. Yes.
Blowjob.
Okay.
He liked blowjobs.
Okay.
That I did observe. And he didn't seem to have any erectile dysfunction for blowjobs. But sex he didn't have. So when I read the stories about the allegations of sexual rape, I find that challenging because that was not his modus operandi, from my perspective.
But when you read about blowjobs, that would be consistent with kind
That
of
would
what
be
you...
consistent, as would masturbation, yes.
Did you talk to the masseuses or women that either he was in a relationship with or who asked you about working with him? Did you tell them, yes, he likes blowjobs, yes, he'll masturbate in front of you? Like, did you have conversations with any of those, with women, about what Mr. Epstein liked or what would make him happy or things like that?
I don't have any memory of telling anybody about that. I think I may have joked, like saying, oh my God, like from a Sex and the City scene, that, he's... But not, I never instruct, the question you're asking me, sorry, let's just be clear. Did I ever instruct anyone how to pleasure Mr. Epstein? Your question, no.
And you said this earlier, but I want to just, you kind of said it on your own. I want to ask the question just so I make sure that there's no confusion.
Yeah.
When you over the years.
Sorry, can I just...
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to say, the idea that I would have to explain to a woman how to satisfy Mr. Epstein is patently absurd, because he clearly was able to explain himself. He didn't need an interlocutor to explain what he liked. He's been doing this, obviously, or this, some version of this story his whole life, and it did not require any help from me.
Then, so did you ever observe him having sex with a masseuse, regular intercourse, not a blowjob, nothing else, where you either walked in or you were in the room?
I never saw Epstein have sex with any person.
And so how about oral sex? Did you ever observe a woman giving him oral sex, whether you were in the room or walked in, or...
I never saw anybody give Epstein a blowjob. No.
But you said earlier you did see him masturbating in front of masseuses.
I don't know if I said that. I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I don't want... Let me ask the question. Sorry. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I said I saw him... I'm sure I saw him in a... what some people could define as sexual contact. Because some people could not have their clothes, well, topless, I would say, maybe. I could say that. If I saw him having, masturbating when someone was at... I don't recall that. I don't have a specific memory of it. I'm sorry. But no, I'm not...
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay, I understand. That's fair. Sorry, I'm not...
That's okay.
Surely not trying to put words in your mouth.
No, that absolutely not. It's fine.
So... and you said, I think, in passing, maybe not in passing, about you know, whether other people who travel with him would get massages, or so that would. When I say that, I'm referring mostly to the island or potentially New Mexico, but also at his Palm Beach residence or even in New York. Do you know? Do you have a list of names in your head, or names that come to mind of people that you know did get massages when they were with Mr. Epstein?
No, there's no list. There's no list of people getting massages. I don't have... I can barely recall all the people. I can barely recall... I struggle to recall actual people that I met, and I may have met a long time. I had even forgotten that about Mr. Kennedy, or I probably brought it up yesterday. It just came to my mind now. So I don't have, and there's no list. There was never a list. There was no, or certainly none that I ever saw, none I ever heard of, none that I ever witnessed, none that there's no list. There's never been a list.
And you never heard Mr. Epstein talk about such a list?
Never.
And you never heard Mr. Epstein suggest that he had some sort of control over somebody because of what he knew about what they had done, or had photos of him?
I never heard him. No, I never heard him ask questions about that. I never heard him. So I've been present many times with masseuses. I never, who presumably could or maybe did massage somebody. I'm not saying whether they did. I'm not just in the corner. I never heard him ask any question of any masseuse who may have given a massage to a friend that was on the island or in Palm Beach or anywhere else, that any details about that massage. Like, do they have a funky foot? No, I never heard that. Weird.
And I think at one of the breaks today, your lawyer may have showed you something that just came out in the paper, I think, this morning or last night, a letter that is attributed to you, associated with this birthday book from 2003 that we talked about yesterday. Did you see that letter?
I did.
Is that, in fact, does it look like your handwriting or something you wrote?
So, I don't remember the letter.
Okay.
But it does look like my handwriting, and it does look like my name, and it looks like it could be real, but I have no memory of writing that, and I don't remember it at all.
Do you remember what the birthday book, as they're calling it, would it look like how it was put together?
I do.
What do you remember about it?
I remember it was leather bound, and I remember it being about yay big. It was big. Right.
So you're saying it looks like it's like over 12 inches, 14, 15 inches?
Yes, it was like sort of like folio size, I guess, or something like that. and like dust. And it was brown and thick, about this thick,
Okay.
and
So I understand.
on heavy stock paper.
Heavy stock paper, like 14 inches high,
That looks about right.
and then around like,
Well, A4's okay. It had A4 because it was done on heavy stock paper. But I can't remember if it was folio-sized paper or it could have just been A4.
oh, I see. So it could have just been letter size, or it might have been legal size.
Yes.
Heavy stock paper.
Yes.
And the folks that submitted letters were given the stock paper, or how were the letters, or did you like glue or something the letters to the stock paper?
Every which way. Some were given the paper and they did their own thing. Some would send me some scrap of paper and I would put it on the thing. Some I didn't get because they went straight to Epstein and I was just told to put them in, like I said.
And how was it bound?
It went to a professional binder who did it like a book that you'd seen the book.
So like the glue that keeps a regular book, a novel that you would read together, it was bound that way?
I believe so. I don't think it was stitched, but I don't remember. I mean, it was professionally done by a professional bookbinder.
How fun. And then after you presented it, or after it was presented to him when he turned 50, did you see the leather-bound book? Did he keep it somewhere in particular?
It was in his bookcase in 71st Street
In Manhattan?
in Manhattan.
And did you see it over the years and until you stopped going to the Brownstone?
I saw it. I know I did see it because it was right behind his desk. And after I stopped going, I don't know what happened to it.
Do you remember being told or knowing where the book is now?
No, but when I received in Discovery those pages, I assumed that it had been found when either New York or the island was searched, and I assumed that the Southern District of New York had it.
That I think you said yesterday, but just to go over it again in case you remember anything differently. You recall seeing some of the letters in Discovery.
I do.
But you don't recall kind of seeing the leather book start to finish.
No, but remember, I didn't see all Discovery because they were very clever about, I didn't receive all Discovery, period. And, in fact, some very important items were not given to me at all, including witness testimony from grand jury.
So you don't know one way or the other whether it was part of Discovery. You just know that you didn't get it. It wasn't part of Discovery that was given to you.
Correct. But I'm absolutely sure that the Southern District of New York hid very important pieces of evidence from me.
Okay.
And I assumed that they leaked it, because where else would it be? If that's what it is, if it's true.
Okay. So I'll say it to you as talked a little bit more about it. I said to you yesterday that the purpose of what we did yesterday and today was exactly what we did, which is to have a conversation about Mr. Epstein and about you. And I think it's very challenging to talk about everything we talked about in 1.5 days or in just a period of hours. So I'll talk to Mr. Marcus about kind of what we're going to do next, if anything. I'm not being coy, or I don't know yet. I don't know. So we have some work to do. We'll do it with your lawyers to the extent we have questions or follow up. This has been very helpful. I think it was you who kind of said you wanted to talk, but we gladly accepted. So I do appreciate you being willing to meet with us, and I expect that we'll be in touch. So
That's good. Out.
all right, Jeff.
This concludes the recorded proffer interview of Ms. Maxwell. The time is 12:05 p.m. on Friday, July 25th.
And this was the final part of the Maxwell DOJ interview of July 2025. What remains are more questions than answers. Whose truth really matters, and who writes the story we're told to believe in the end? Well, you decide. And if you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you so much for listening. Now the real work begins, because we have to stick our heads together, we have to figure out what's a lie, what's a contradiction, and so on. And I will post a deep dive into all of the parts I just posted. So we're having a deep dive in part 1, part 2, and so on. And after that, I will present you another case that, well, let's say it's not just connected, but intertwined very deeply. So yeah, if you want me to investigate something else, please let me know. Always, guys, please like the video. I hate asking for likes, but these videos, I can't stress enough how important it is to like, share, and comment on those videos. If you're new here, please subscribe, activate the bell icon so you can get every notification when I go live. Yeah, we go live together, we can investigate together. I'm gonna show you how to investigate, because so many people ask me, Daniel, but how do I research? And this is a very good question, because I've been doing this for like, well, over a decade now. So it's kind of easy for me to say, yeah, but you gotta research. But most people don't know how to research, or they don't know how to trust their sources. And of course, it's always a trust me bro issue with these topics, because we weren't there. So if you don't have anyone that wasn't there, you can't say for 100% that it is like that. But come on, people, we ain't stupid. They think we're stupid, and I already told you before, this is a spiritual battle between good and evil. It's not a cliche. Those people in power, they hate you. They hate you. They are not left. They are not right. They just hate you. That's their affiliation. They hate you. They want to control you. They want to manipulate you, and they want you to work for them. You work for them, and that's not the purpose of life. At least for me, it ain't. And I will never join the system like everyone else does. Of course, we are all in the system, I know, but I think you get the point. I will not do a 9 to 5 to get some money and then die. No fucking way. Not happening, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Much love goes out to you. I'm manifesting all the best for you and your loved ones. And yeah, if you want me to change up some edits or some things, just let me know. Love you so much. And always remember, all we do is for a better tomorrow.